What's up, everybody? This is Entertainment Debate. I'm Connor,
And I'm Nate.
and we're coming at all you music listeners, movie lovers, and sports fanatics out there with all of our rankings, top stories. We got some bracket bullshit out there for the NBA and the NHL. Just anything you could really think of and anything we can talk about for an extended period of time, we're going to fucking talk about it. So today what we're doing is our top 10 songs that are over 10 minutes in length. So if you have the patience to listen to this podcast, I think you'll definitely have the patience to check these songs out.
Amen, dude. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, seriously.
All right. Same criteria as before. One band per list. So
One song per band.
one song per band. So no repeats. So if you're angry about any exclusions, don't worry. They probably were considered, but ultimately left off the list because they were already on in a different song. But anything to add, Nate?
Yeah, I guess I'll just say I'm excited to see your list because like it's interesting. 10-minute length songs, are like, typically going to be uh, skewed towards the progressive rock genre, and you're slightly less of a progressive rock fan than me, so it's going to be interesting to see what kinds of selections are here. Uh, and as we talked earlier, we think we have about 5 of the same bands on here, but I don't think we're going to have any of the same songs. We might have some of the same songs, but I don't know.
I think one or two might be the same, but would probably top it out at that.
I feel like
Um,
that's the perfect balance. Like for these types of things, like it would be super boring if we all had the same list. It would be super boring if we all had the same bands. It would be super boring
yeah,
if we had but like a few similar and then the rest different. That's like it's perfect.
yeah. So I actually I have a strong feeling that Porcupine Tree is going to be on your list because I was doing some research, just like making sure I wasn't leaving out any huge songs. And this one list had like fucking 15 Porcupine songs. They're like these are all over like 10 minutes or something like that. Like it wasn't ranking; it was just like listing songs over 10
Yeah,
minutes.
that's funny because Porcupine Tree doesn't actually have a ton of 10-minute songs. They have like a few albums that are kind of like not their more famous, well-known albums that have a few like epic tracks, and it's kind of like a concept album. But other than that, like, but they're definitely there. I mean, they have so much music though. Their
Yeah.
discography is endless, so that it kind of does add up. There are definitely a fair number of 10-minute songs, I suppose.
Yeah, but all right, let's get right into it. I can start this time. I think you started last time on the guitar, so my
Sounds
turn
good.
now. All right, my number 10 is Coma by Guns N' Roses off the Use Your Illusion 1 album, clocking in at 10 minutes and 13 seconds, just a bit longer than November Rain, which definitely would have been near the top of this list had it had a few more seconds added onto it, or maybe it's a minute, whatever it is. But very interesting, very un-Guns N' Roses like track, in my opinion. There's no chorus, there's no like repeats, there's no hook really. It's just a 10-minute song about a dude who's in a coma and basically can't decide if he wants to stay in the coma or come back to reality. Got your classic Slash tearing it up solos in there, but also has that Guns N' Roses like piano and soft influence as well. It's just really Guns N' Roses throwing all the tools in their bag into a 10-minute song. And um, I like it, but I don't love it. Like kind of at the bottom of my list, I don't think there's many 10 plus minute songs that I'm like actually in love with. So the bottom of my list is more just songs that I really enjoy listening to, but probably wouldn't have on repeat.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't even know that Guns N' Roses had a 10-minute song. I've never even heard of that song. I'm interested to hear that, I guess.
Yeah, it's not very proggy. It's very much like Guns N' Roses just does a 10-minute song. So
Yeah, that's cool.
kind of a cool concept with the coma part, but and actually I like when I was reading up on it today, it said like the Guns N' Roses guitarist that before the original lineup reunited recently, one of the replacement guitarists was asked what's the hardest song in the Guns N' Roses catalog to play, and he immediately answered Coma because he was like, there's no fucking repeats. I have no idea where I am in this song, and Axl wants to stretch it out to like 20 minutes on stage. So
That's great.
I
Yeah.
thought that was pretty funny. But what's your number 10?
So my number 10 is from a band that I'm not actually like I don't really know a ton about. I'm not really that big a fan of them, but I've recently gotten into their debut album, and I definitely really like the debut album a lot. And that is King Crimson, The Court of the Crimson King. Just barely makes the cut at 10 minutes and 3 seconds. And this song is super cool. It's chill. It's there's not only the chorus is like at all heavy or dramatic.
Hmm.
There's a lot of nice, just kind of more acoustic sections, or just softer sections, I guess. The song kind of feels like I don't know. It makes me feel like I'm in a movie. Honestly, it's a little ominous. It's like, it's a little ominous, a little psychedelic. Um, it's definitely at like number 10 for a reason. It's definitely not like I probably wouldn't give this song above an 8 out of 10, which
Yeah,
is
that's. I
which
mean,
is great.
I'd say the same thing about Coma. So I
Yeah,
think we're kind of on the same page with like where these songs rank in our like overall kind of lists.
yeah. But yeah, it's definitely a great song. It's a great album. This is an album, one of the first progressive rock albums of all time. Really, came out in the late '60s, and for how early this album was released, I mean, it's so progressive. It really has like all these overtones of progressive rock throughout the decades. I mean, just kind of the really like thumping bass, really a centerpiece of the music. The vocals are great. I can't remember the vocalist's name, but I know he's actually pretty famous. The drummer is just kicks ass. I mean, everything about this album and this song. I think
I
this
don't
is.
know too much about King Crimson, but I'm pretty sure that Robert Fripp is the lead guitarist, if not also vocalist. But I could be
I
wrong about
don't
that.
think he's a vocalist. I don't think that's the name of the vocalist, but it could be.
But yeah, King Crimson's a band I've been meaning to check out a little bit more, so maybe I'll get into that. At least listen to your suggestion. Um,
Yeah.
but my number 9 is might also be on your list, not 100% sure, but Heart of the Sunrise off of the Fragile album by Yes. Fun fact, Yes used to be my favorite band. I had like 2 or 3 Yes shirts when I was in like the 5th grade or something like that. Um,
Jesus.
and
Fifth
as a
grade. That's wild.
yeah, as a piano player and a classic rock fan, I gravitated towards Rick Wakeman. And the
Right.
Fragile album and the Close to the Edge album were really huge for me. Um, as I said, as a piano player, as a musician. So Heart of the Sunrise is a really awesome song. Really, kind of like Coma for Guns N' Roses. Kind of like Yes, just throwing all their tricks into one song. I think it has some great lyrics to it. I think Yes writes some really underrated lyrics to their songs. Um, and really one of my favorite albums, like an album that I don't think is up there with like the best, but one that's like close to my heart, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I love this song, man. Heart of the Sunrise. I absolutely love the song. I think it is the first like minutes of the song is like the best, some of the best 2 minutes of any Yes music, or at least in terms of the intro, like Yes intros.
Oh,
Um,
dude. I mean, it's so like basic, I guess, but the roundabout intro is just, oh, that is,
yeah, the roundabout intro is excellent. I mean, there's a lot of good intros on this album,
yeah.
but the bass and really the whole rhythm section, the whatever the hell the drummer's doing with this like off kilter tempo and like hitting like a lot of offbeat, you know,
Yeah, the syncopated
yeah,
rhythm.
it kicks ass at the beginning of this song. I mean,
Yep,
it's
completely
so
agree.
groovy. It is so groovy. It's such a great bass riff. I mean, it's just and some serious vocal performance from John Anderson on this track.
Yeah,
Like,
who's not usually someone I would consider a top vocalist of
no,
his time, but I thought he does a
he's
great
solid.
job.
He's a solid vocalist. I think generally speaking, but rarely is he truly excellent. And I think
Yeah.
he is fucking truly excellent in this song. I mean, his range in the song is nuts. All right. My number 9 is the only 10-minute track by this band, and it's one of my favorite bands ever, King's X. Johnny. off of Black Like Sunday, which I think is actually by far their worst album. Connor somehow thinks, and by the way, and that's an opinion shared by virtually like unanimously by King's X fans. Like that's their worst album by a mile. And Connor thinks it's like the best album he's heard by them. I don't even know how it works. I mean, it just
It's not the best
yeah.
I've heard by them, but Ty Tabor's riff writing on that album really stood out to me like a bit more than other albums, just because they have them. I feel like there's less of a prog influence. Not that I dislike prog, but the riff writing on the Black Like Sunday album really stood out to me. But that's really it.
Makes sense that it's less of a prog influence because it's actually all music that they wrote before they were even King's X, and they just like redid it. So it's not even like it's old music. And Johnny is really the only the song track at hand is the only really progressive song on the album, like really progressive proggy song, and kind of an epic song. I really love the just the route that this song takes, like the chronological order of every part of this song. I think really works to its advantage. I mean, it kind of starts out with like a very cool intro. This just absolutely growling bass coming from Doug Pinnick. It's an absolutely great bass line, and I think his vocals are pretty on point this song. And it kind of goes into like it starts out pretty standard with the intro, verse, chorus, verse, and it goes into this jam section that is just one of the greatest jam sections in King's X history. This is a real gem on this album, in my opinion. I mean, there's an amazing guitar solo. Jerry Gaskell, who usually doesn't showcase a ton of technical ability and is usually like more in the background and more reserved, goes off on this song. I mean, it's just fantastic.
All right. My number, what are we at? Number 8. Yeah, my number 8 is Pneuma by Tool off the album Fear Inoculum. Kind of wrestled back and forth with a few Tool songs on here, but ultimately I really just like Pneuma. That might be like overrating it in some Tool fans' minds compared to some other 10+ minute tracks in their catalog. But I don't know, it just really stands out to me with the God, I mean, you could say this about any Tool track, but the Justin Chancellor bass line, and that is insane. And I absolutely love how Adam Jones starts out with the riff in like a kind of clean, like maybe slightly distorted
Yep.
tone. It changes into distortion, but he really kicks it into overdrive around like the 9-minute mark. When that main riff comes back and it's just Adam Jones, like that part is just musical genius.
Yeah.
And
And the build up to it is
yeah,
really what makes it amazing. I mean, the anticipation and the payoff. Somehow it's like, how can they even live up to the payoff? Like there's so much build up. It's like, Jesus Christ, they better really blow me away. I mean, they're making me wait like 10 minutes. It's like this like really slow movement. That's what Tool does so
yeah.
well. And then they blow your mind in the payoff. They're like, oh my God, that was better than I could have ever imagined. It's like, Jesus Christ. It really just, they get your blood going like no other band does in that sense.
Yeah, and they're just like there are plenty of Tool songs that I like more than this. Like, and by plenty, I mean probably like 15 or so,
Oh, wow. Yeah.
maybe.
Oh,
But
yeah, I don't even know.
yeah, but it's the one that's over 10 minutes that I like the most. This and Rosetta Stoned were pretty close. However, Numa just appealed to me a little bit more. Maynard's style of vocals occasionally can make or break a track for me, and I preferred it. Him and Numa than Rosetta Stoned.
Very different. Yeah,
Yeah,
very like
yeah,
Rosetta Stone is a little more out there. It's a little more. It's very
yeah.
more out there tracks. So it could really rub you the wrong way in certain.
Yeah. Oh, I also like flew to the Lateralus album last minute because I thought I could cheat the system and combine Parable and Parabola.
Well,
It
yeah.
doesn't come in over 10 minutes, so
Oh, it doesn't. Oh,
no,
yeah.
it doesn't. So we're sticking with Numa. If it did, I totally would have
Yeah.
put that on the list, and it would have been
Yeah.
much higher up. But
I really wouldn't knock anyone's selection for a Tool song here. If they were to put Tool, like any 10-minute Tool song, in my opinion, is a contender. I really think I really think it's all up for grabs. Like really. So Numa definitely a good selection. This next track, so for me, number 8 is a real doozy of a track. It's really long. It's like 17 or 18 minutes, and it's actually it's a song that it's Spock's Beard song. It's From the Darkness, and I've always liked. I always kind of like respected Spock's Beard, and there was a few songs I checked out that I really liked, but I never really like did a deep dive into them, really got into them, and like I told my brother about them though, and he actually really got into them, and he started telling me about them, and I'm like, Bennett, give me a list of like your 10 favorite Spock's Beard songs to try and get me into him, and this is his absolute favorite one.
Oh,
uh,
really?
and yeah, and it's truly just like you think of like a prog rock epic. That's what this is. I mean, you could really spend a podcast going through the different phases and sections of the song. So I'm just going to tell you, all I'm really going to say about it is that it's nuts. There's a lot of sections, and it's just epic. And it's not like they don't like bite off more than they can chew. They don't like overdo something. Like they're well within their talents and their you know their ability to write music. So it's just great. I mean, it's definitely one that you want to buckle in and focus on. Like this isn't like it takes a focused listener, but great track.
All right. Well, if you thought that was a doozy, here comes 2112 Overture.
Hey.
Number 7. I absolutely love this track. I think we've gone back and forth about this a little bit. I think 2112 is probably Rush's best album in my opinion. I think just the cohesiveness is a little bit better, and I like, I like when there's a storyline in an album. It was between 2112 and the Cygnus books for me, and ultimately I went with 2112 because I
Which book?
think kind of both, but book 2 probably a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah.
Which also that is like waiting to become a movie. Like all of
Yeah.
Rush's stories actually in their albums should like definitely be like science fiction short stories or movies or something like that. But I
And
digress.
that would be so easy to market. Like so many Rush fans would go see that
Yeah,
shit.
hold on. Copyright, all rights reserved. Fuck all y'all about to take my idea.
I don't think that's how it works.
I'm putting a
They'll take
copyright
your
on it.
idea. Yeah.
Verbal copyright. But yeah, I think there's a lot going on in this song. And again, there's some Rush tracks that I like more than this one that just didn't make the 10-minute mark. La Via Straniato was very close.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I love all of the parts of this. Like, it's just such a great opening with like the science fiction, like laser sounds in the beginning. It
It's
literally,
one of the most epic
yeah, it's
build up intros like in music
and
history.
it's such a great payoff. Like,
Music history. Yeah.
there's too much, kind of like the Spock's Beard song. There's just too much to unpack here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you have not listened to this song and you're a rock fan, I don't know what the hell rock you're living under, but immediately go listen to really the
Immediately.
entire album.
Yeah.
21.
Forget the Spock's Beard song. Immediately, like if you call yourself a rock fan and you have not heard the song, you just go. Yeah, too much to unpack. Way too much.
Yep. So let's move on.
The only thing, one more thing. My brother obviously I have a Rush song on here, and my brother said, I mean, I told him what he told me if my Rush selection wasn't 2112, like he was like gonna lose his mind. Yeah, he loves that song so much. He loves that song like more than you. He loves that song like so much. I mean, it's crazy. Okay, what am I at? 7? Yes, 7.
Yep.
So this is I keep trying to like do a little build up before I say sometimes I just don't have a good one, So
yeah, not a good build up for this one.
Shine On You Crazy Diamond, parts 6 through 9 by Pink Floyd. So
hold on a minute. I was already a little taken aback that it was number 7, but then you said 6 through 9, and I'm just like,
yeah.
I don't think you're crazy for picking 6 through 9. I think that song kind of approaches a 10 out of 10 song for me. Like, it's definitely up there. But I just think 1 through 5 just is a little, like, a kind of clear notch better to me, in my opinion. Especially, like, the way it opens and everything is just iconic.
The opening is probably is iconic. I don't know if it's better. I think here's the problem. I realized that, like, I thought I would pick 1 through 5. I thought I would. But I listened to them again, and I realized I think it would be if they were reversed in the album, like if 6 through 9 was first, I think that would be considered the epic one. Like, I just think it's because
Mm,
you've already heard some of the song, and like the chorus isn't as much of a surprise. It's like you kind of know it's coming. And 6 through 9, like, so because it's just similar and you've already heard a different, like almost a different version of the song, it doesn't hit the same way. But if you listen to 6 through 9 first, it's like amazing. I mean, I think it's just a great track. I think it's a more it's a more experimental track than 1 through 5. Um, they really get into it with some really funky bass stuff at the end of this song. That's really cool. They do a ton of stuff in the song. A lot of, again, that is the issue with like the topic for this video is all of these songs are too much to unpack. You're right. It's like,
yeah.
to keep this a reasonable length podcast, it's like to try and actually deconstruct and explain what makes a 10-minute song a top 10 song takes a while. So you're just gonna have to take our word for it. But Shine on You, Crazy Diamond, Part 6 through 9. That's my number 7. Your number 6, I believe.
My number 6 is Home off the Metropolis Part 2 album by Dream Theater.
Yep.
I think this is kind of funny. I think the bass line in the beginning, first off, John Young goes off like a goddamn lunatic in this song. Actually, you know what? Everybody goes off like a goddamn lunatic in this
Everybody
song.
does.
Literally the only knock I have on this song, I re-listened to it today to like confirm this is like my placement and everything, is I am not a fan of the sound of Mike Portnoy's drums in this track. I think they could be much bigger. The snare sounds like compressed. I'm not that big a fan of it. Think it's still a very talented drum performance. Just the sound mixing, I think I need a little bit more. But overall, yeah, John Young goes absolutely off with a borderline like Tool-inspired intro. John Petrucci absolutely loses his mind at like 9 minutes into it on the guitar. I mean, like, just good fucking luck trying to figure out how to play that one if your name is not John Petrucci.
Yeah, you listen to this and it's just one of those like 20, you have different reactions to these things. Like 2112, we were talking about, your reaction to that is just like, you're just like sitting there in pure amazement.
Yeah.
Home, a song like Home, it's like you're just throwing your arms up like, what the fuck?
I just like laugh at the difficulty.
How? Like, how is this even like, how do they do, like, oh my God, like, you're almost like mad that you're almost like mad at the world that there's someone out like this that is so talented. It's like how is someone this good at it? Like, how are they? It's just like, oh my God, it's like frustrating how fucking good it is. It's like, why can't all you other bands be this good? Like this, why can't you be this talented? Like, fucking Jesus Christ, it's not even a competition. These guys.
Yeah, and I've dumped a little bit on James LaBrie in past episodes, but I actually think this is one of his better vocal performances.
Dude, at least in this, all I can say is for like his studio performance and in the studio and how it sounds on the record. I think his main like the main records that Dream Theater is known for, most of them, he is really good. I think like really good in a lot of spots. I think live, especially from other concerts I've heard or seen on YouTube and the one I've been to, I think I just don't know if he has it live. I don't know. I think he sounds great on the record, especially on Train of Thought. I think he sounds amazing on Train of Thought.
Mm-hmm. But all right, you're number 6.
Yeah, I'm going on too much about this. My number 6 is one of a few 10-minute track, not many, but a couple from this band. And what's funny is like this band really should have way more 10-minute tracks to compete with here, because what they've done is they just went the route of like dividing a ton of songs, making them like all 2 minutes, and just be like, and they just put them back to back to back to back in the album in
Mm-hmm.
synchronicity, and they're all titled something different. And so that, but really they're obviously one song, obviously. So King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, Crumbling Castle, the opening track to Polygona Land, which is it's one in their like 5 album consortium that came out in 2017 when they
I
said,
have heard this one.
yeah, this is a popular, yeah. What was I going to say about it? Yeah. So, oh yeah, it's one of the 5 album consortium in I think it was 2017 when they came out with 5 albums, and fucking unbelievable. Who does that? Who does it? I mean, and it's easily, I think most people will say, the closest King Gizzard has come to true progressive rock is this album, and definitely this song. This song is emblematic of that. It's also a really funky song, and I mean the time signatures used all over the song are very Tool-like. I think. I mean, look, I preach that King Gizzard is so much like Tool, especially this album. If you listen to this album and you don't tell me that you don't see the similarities between King Gizzard and Tool and their use of rhythm and time signatures, I mean, you're crazy. And it's used to such a central focal point that you can't ignore it. And I just think that King Gizzard went the whimsical route and Tool went like the dark spiritual route.
Yep.
Yeah, great track. There's one other thing. There's like a lot of Stranger Things type synths in this track that just fit the track so nicely, and it's a really funky track. Again, too much to unpack. Let's go to number 5.
My number 5 is from a band that really surprisingly did not have many 10+ minute songs. Kind of like you just said, did not have many 10+ minute songs to compete with this one, which was kind of surprising to me. I think their songs feel longer to me than they actually are, but it's Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner by Iron Maiden off of
Yeah,
Power Slave.
dude, you hit the nail on the head. I had that same thought earlier when going through my list.
This one definitely would have been up there for me to choose from regardless, even if some were longer. I think it's just a kind of like I said about Guns N' Roses. It's just Iron Maiden doing Iron Maiden for 13 minutes, essentially. Some long, like almost medieval type story that has like some creepy aspect to it. And just like these galloping rhythms, and I don't know. It's just very, very, very Iron Maiden track to me. And it's just 13 minutes long. I guess like it's kind of
You
hard
know,
to really describe, but
making me think I should have re-listened to it because this song did cross my mind, or when I was going through like some albums and stuff, and I saw that track from Iron Maiden because I was looking to see if I wanted to pick any Iron Maiden tracks, and I don't know why I didn't re-listen to it. I think I just like skipped it and went on to maybe I should have re-listened to it. I don't know. It's been a while since I've listened to Power Slave all the way through, probably at least several months. So I don't think it would be on my list. Maybe it would be on my list. I don't know.
no, I'm a big fan of the song. I do think one thing that keeps it down a little bit for me is I think it overstays its welcome just a little bit. Kind of a funny story about that is one of my coworkers at the golf course in Virginia was playing it on speakers in the little maintenance shop, and I stopped by the maintenance shop like at the start of the song and like picked some tools up, went out and did a job, came back, and the song is still on. So it's just
Yeah.
it's a little long, not quite as long as 2112 or something like that, but there's just less different parts to it and less variety within the song that makes it feel a little like it overstayed its welcome. So that's what keeps it down around like the middle of the pack for me.
Yeah. All right. My number 5 is Russia on Ice by Porcupine Tree. So here's my Porcupine Tree song. It's off of their, I believe, 2000 album from the year 2000, Light Bulb Sun, which is probably their most polarizing record as a band, and and really just a very experimental album for them, progressive album for them. This song, I want you to listen to this song like soon, like not even again, and not really just this song because I really wanted to listen to actually a different album.
No, I need to check out Porcupine Tree. That's definitely on my list. I just have been listening to a
Yeah.
lot less music than I am used to lately. So it's kind of
Yeah.
tough to carve out time to give things focused listens.
Yeah. Dude, my brother was playing some Porcupine Tree. Me and my brother have been learning so much Porcupine Tree and guitar, and he was playing some on acoustic at our campsite over a weekend or two ago. And the fucking neighbors, the next door campsite neighbors, knew Porcupine Tree. And they came over and they were like, "You guys know Porcupine Tree?" We were like, "Yes, we do. Yes." It was fucking amazing. It was. Oh, what a great dude! That when that shit happens, it's like the best day. Like,
Yeah, when you're a fan of like a semi-obscure band or something like that, and somebody else just kind of recognizes it or something like that, or
yeah,
points at your shirt or whatever it
bond
is.
over that and geek out over it. Oh, it's fucking
Yeah.
amazing. Yes, Rush on Ice. A very uh I want to say ominous, I guess, but the song has like different tones almost. It really starts out. It's very slow tempo at first, and just a slower song that's like more kind of dramatic and ominous in the beginning, and then second half, the end, it somehow it just brilliantly transitions into like somehow uses a funky like I want to a more funky transitioning middle section to the song to get to this now very heavy and just heavy and really just metal section. I mean, in a way, progressive, maybe on the proggy metal side, but it's
Hmm.
another song, too much to unpack. I'm just gonna end up fucking droning on about all the shit that happens in the song, but it's just great. This whole album is fucking crazy like this.
All right.
Kind of.
My number 4 is by who I think is a criminally underrated guitarist. I don't think he's up there in like the pantheons of the greats, but in the grand scheme of things, this guy's not really known in the general music community as a great guitarist, and I think that's just a travesty. And this is "Do You Feel Like We Do" by Peter Frampton off the album "Frampton Comes Alive."
Mm.
And again, it's 13 and almost 14 minutes long, so I just want to briefly unpack it. It's just a great chord progression, great guitar, Frampton's classic talk box use, and really the best part of this song is when they kind of like uh, lower the volume and kind of just do a little groove with keyboard and like little talk box kind of licks in there. And then the whole band comes back in, like just smashes back in for the last 2 minutes and just jams out. And it's just incredible musicianship on this track. And it's one of my all-time favorite songs.
Now, I don't really know anything about Peter Frampton. What era is Peter Frampton from?
70s. This is from 1976.
Hmm, interesting.
Yeah,
I thought he
you've
was
definitely heard this song
later.
before.
Nah, I thought he was later than that. Yeah, really?
Yeah, I would guess yes. If you
Yeah, probably.
honestly, if you heard the opening riff, you'd probably be like, "Oh, this song." But
Yeah, I probably would. I guess I know he's a pretty it's pretty a lot of his I guess a lot of his stuff has broken through to like mainstream. I
yeah,
mean,
he's got like 3 or 4 songs that are semi regularly played on classic
yeah,
rock radio.
right.
Um, but what's your number 4?
My number four is Heart of the Sunrise by Yes. It was a little painful to have to pick a singular Yes song here.
Hmm.
Yes, I think maybe more than any other band on this list, maybe uh, has probably more 10-minute tracks than any other band. I mean, they have a crazy not only 10-minute tracks, but straight up 20-minute tracks. Like so many 20-minute tracks that I wanted to choose. But Heart of the Sunrise, I think it just you said something about it earlier that just really just encapsulates the song without unpacking the whole thing.
Hmm.
And you said like it's just everybody in the band like at their best in a certain like everybody's just like they throw all their tools they grab all the tools from the tool shed and they use it for this song. They don't leave out like a certain element I think of their uh
Yeah.
their band. Yeah.
Okay. My number 3, and it was painful to put this song here. Painful to put this song here, but I think that 2 songs are better than this, and it is Achilles' Last Stand by Led Zeppelin off the album Presence from the year 1976. It
What
is
the fuck?
an absolutely thundering song, like almost a Maiden influenced riff.
Hold on a second.
And
I've never even heard of this album. Wait a second. I
it
really
is not a well-known or very well-received Led Zeppelin album, but this is by far the best song in Zeppelin's catalog after Physical Graffiti. It's not even close.
wait.
Um,
Over 10 minutes, or you're
it's
saying?
it's by far the best song in Zeppelin's catalog after Physical Graffiti,
Oh,
like the album. Like
okay.
there were only like that's not that big of a statement considering there was only 2 albums after Physical Graffiti, and they're not very loved by fans. It's Presence and In Through the Outdoor. Um, for some reason, as a kid, I loved In Through the Outdoor. I guess I was just a fucking weirdo, but that's like widely considered their worst album.
Yeah.
But yeah, Achilles' Last Stand is truly just a masterpiece by Led Zeppelin. But they have their that's a band that just has like fucking 10 masterpieces. So
Yeah.
this is one that does go over the 10-minute mark. The other one that I considered was In My Time of Dying off of Physical Graffiti, which is a great song in itself. However, it is a cover. Um, it's an original cover, if that makes sense. Like they covered a song, but they definitely made it their own. But Achilles' Last Stand is just incredible, and especially if you're into Zeppelin or if you want to get more into Zeppelin, I highly recommend checking out the Dazed and Confused live version off The Song Remains the Same, because uh, obviously Dazed and Confused can stretch onto a 30-minute track in live performances. And it features the early riff of Achilles' Last Stand, but in a slower, clean guitar riff.
Huh.
Um, in a kind of breakdown of the band, and it's one of my all-time favorite Led Zeppelin musical moments in all of their catalog.
Wow.
So highly recommend this song.
Yeah. I really don't know Led Zeppelin's deep catalog enough at all. I really only know their main things. 1, 2, 4. That's
Yeah, you really need to listen to Houses of the Holy, Physical Graffiti in this song.
yeah. House of the Holy I've definitely, and Physical Graffiti I've definitely heard some of. I would be willing to bet though I've never heard anything off of Presence. Maybe I mean
It's not that bad of an album. It's got like T for One on it, which I think is pretty good. But Achilles' Last Stand is definitely at the top of my list for 10+ minute songs in Zeppelin's catalog. And I've probably rambled on about this. Oh, not even a pun intended, but that is pretty fucking funny.
did.
But I'm a huge fucking Zeppelin fan, so let's just move on.
All right. My number 3 is a Rush track. You probably know what it is.
Probably like Cygnus 2.
Yeah,
Is my guess. Yeah.
Cygnus 2. One of my favorite Rush songs ever, and one that I think. I mean, look, almost all Rush songs get love, but and this one obviously is a well-known Rush song, but I feel like it still is underrated to me at least. Like this song, I like welled up at points in this song. Like this song is so good. I just can't even explain or
All right. Hopefully that's the last one of
I was
that.
about to say that. Yeah, I was about to say that.
I heard a lot of what you were talking about, but I'm not sure if it was picked up. So I would just restart talking
Yeah, I'll
about
restart.
Cygnus.
Yeah, so Cygnus, I think, is just a criminally overlooked Rush song, even though it is like relatively popular. I still think it doesn't get the love it deserves.
Dude, I don't know. I think it's relatively popular within Rush fans, but like the
Yeah,
general
right,
rock community, I
right,
would say you probably don't even know what Cygnus is.
right. Definitely, that is accurate. Yeah, it's very popular within the Rush community. That is true. Outside of that, it's not one of their mainstream hits. And this is just a complete epic tale of a song, and It is lyrically moving. Geddy Lee's vocal performance is extremely moving. The riff writing and melodic sequencing of this whole fucking song, it's just some of the most brilliant stuff I've ever heard, and it's honestly like gives me it evokes physical reaction. This fucking song, I get chills, and I feel like adrenaline like moving through my veins, like at this, like listening to this song. I feel like in a profound way, like it's just truly an emotional song, but it's also like progressively and musically so sound, just brilliantly on a theoretical level. I think. I mean, the melodies in the song and the rhythm section overtones of the melodies, and just the way that everything is just works off each other and is synchronized, and it's just absolutely brilliant. It's one of the most progressive pieces of rock, like just truly complicated and amazing and beautiful and intricate, and something that takes time to digest. I mean, it just hits. It makes like your prog itches just so satisfied. It just tickles every fancy, for a progressive rock fan. It's so intricate. I love just the sound engineering too. Like the guitar tones are amazing. Alex Lifeson's guitar tones. The crispness of Neil Peart's drums. Neil Peart, who, by the way, goes off in this song, absolutely. And Geddy Lee, just one of the most ridiculous bass performances I've ever heard in my life. I mean, literally, instrumentally, this is some of the craziest stuff from all three members in any song, and it's just fucking unbelievable. I mean, this is. I almost don't even know why I had the only reason this is like not number one or something. Sorry to take so much time on this song, but the only reason this is not like number one is because I just think it gets drawn out a little too long. I think they go into this like really story time section of the book, of the song. It gets really slow, and it's maybe a little bit drawn out, and it's like it doesn't necessarily keep you that hooked the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like really the first 2/3 of the song is where it's at, or maybe one half, and then the last like quarter, the third, that middle third, yeah.
Gotcha.
But man, another epic.
Yeah, my number two is actually the first 5 parts of a song that we've already discussed to some extent, which is "Shine On You Crazy Diamond" parts 1 through 5, off of "Wish You Were Here" in 1975 by Pink Floyd, and um,
I was very interested to see what Pink Floyd song you picked. Yeah.
it was between this 6 through 9. Echoes was thought of, considered, however you want to put it.
What about any of the Animals tracks?
Yeah, dog. That's actually the double that I had on here. I originally had a double on here and didn't even think about it, and that was dogs. Pigs was also very close. I like dogs and pigs more than I like sheep on that one. But yeah, "Shine On You Crazy Diamond" is just, oof. It's hard to find a song in Pink Floyd's catalog that perfectly encapsulates everything they are as a band. And I think this is it. It's not my favorite Pink Floyd song, but I think that if you could play one song to show somebody what Pink Floyd is all about, it would be this one, in my opinion.
Totally agree. I feel the same way about the song. Yeah, and the second part too, sort
Yeah.
of. I mean,
And look, David Gilmour is not technically the best guitarist or anything like that, but he is a genius with 6 strings in his hands. And I like my love for David Gilmour is close to my love for Jimmy Page.
yeah,
So the intro to this and what he's able to do with his pedal board without it being too much is just incredible to me. And just the
David
entire
Gilmour,
arrangement of this track.
absolute legend. Yeah,
Yeah, absolute genius. Really hope I'm able to see him in concert before he either stops touring or anything else like that. He is definitely on my list. I've seen Roger Waters, have not seen David Gilmour. Pray that one day we see them together, but probably not. So,
probably not.
yeah.
Yep. All right, my number 2 is Rosetta Stone by Tool. So
Wow, that is.
what? Really?
I mean, I know you love Tool, but that's pretty damn high.
Dude, Tool's like my favorite band, basically.
I know. I just
I've pretty much decided that I think King's X has taken a peg at
wow. As long this is history right here, ladies and gentlemen. I have in the entire time I have known Nate, and we have spent essentially every waking minute together for like 4 years, and this
Oh, no.
never once been uttered that King's X has been overtaken. So this is just shocking news. Like,
Yeah, I mean, look, it's been close for a while, though.
if you
Okay.
know Nate, this is jaw-dropping news.
Oh, man. Yeah. Look, you don't realize though that it's been really close for quite some time now.
No, I saw this coming. Not, I just I
Yeah.
want to build it up a little bit for the listeners. You know, give them a little something.
Build it up. You're right. You're right. If anybody makes it this far, I mean,
If they make it this far.
you know, maybe like one person might. I feel like, but
Yeah,
all right.
it's gonna be your brother.
So I don't even think he will. But Bennett, if you made it this far, we appreciate you. Anyway, Rosetta Stone. Jesus Christ, Rosetta Stone is one of the greatest songs I've ever heard. I mean, it's one of my favorite songs ever. I mean, this could be like easily make a top 10 of my top 10 songs I've ever heard. I think.
Dear Lord in heaven, I've underestimated your love of Tool, but go ahead.
Yeah. I think the best thing about it too is that it encapsulates both sides of Tool, and it alternates them back and forth. You know, in just a genius way when it comes to songwriting. I mean, and when I say both sides of Tool, I mean like the kind of, very like in your face, raw, heavy, like, powerful Tool. And then I mean like the more like moving, psychedelic, calm in a way, but
This is really
mystical,
interesting that
mystical Tool.
yeah.
And it's like it goes
It's a
back
good
and
combination.
it's an incredible combination in this song. I love playing this song on guitar. I mean, it's just the rhythms in the song and the rhythms that you get to play like from as the guitarist and as the bassist here. I mean, are just so much fun and so interesting and so outside the box. I think I just don't hear bands playing like this in this way. I mean, this is, and again, I think I might have even said this on the podcast before. Like Tool has said, like the way they write music, it's not like any other band. They literally will cycle through. They'll write all these parts, and none of them are defined as being the definitive rhythm section, the definitive lead. They're all just like floating in the air. And they literally cycle them between the instruments and see what works the best. And that's why it takes them fucking 13 years to come out with an album. Okay. Like 13 is a little too long. Well, come on, guys, let's be real. But yeah, but seriously, I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And you can see that was happening in this song, like the way that they were experimenting with just the parts in this track. And there's like this, I think it's like 2/3 of the way into the song or 3/4. Like there's this rhythm section that goes down between Danny Carey and Justin Chancellor. And I mean, I'm sure it's like multi-tracked. I mean, to some extent. But I mean, it's like, it has to be, look, I'm like a music student. Like I don't really know shit, but if you break this down, this has to be like the most complicated rhythmic thing in rock ever.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't even know. It works. It's not like complicated. It's not like stupidly complicated just for the sake of being complicated. It's literally like you can dance to it in a way. Like it's like it's a jam. And I mean, I've seen like YouTube videos like trying to break it down and stuff. People like are like trying to layer in all the parts and show you how it works. I mean, it's fucking bananas. I mean, this song, It's a doozy.
I didn't know we differed that much within Tool's catalog. Like I love Tool, but like obviously you love Tool. But I
Yeah.
didn't know we differed so much that you'd have Rosetta Stone in potentially your top 10 songs all time because it wouldn't even be in my top 10 Tool songs.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's kind of interesting to me. But all right, we have arrived at number one, and if you know me, I have been trying to get you into this song slowly for 4 years, and I just don't think it's caught on. But Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding by Elton John off the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road album. It is the opening to that album. And I just think that the arrangement and the musicianship of that song is one of the best, if not the best, that these ears have ever heard. Even more incredible considering that he wrote all of the music, not only to this song, and all of the parts to this song, not only this song, but the entire Goodbye Yellow Brick Road album in 2 weeks, which is just, I mean, if I could like make 5 minutes of this song in 2 weeks, I'd just be like, well, that's it, boys. That's all I've got. I'm done. My musical career is over. It's not getting better than this. But criminally underrated Elton John song. It doesn't get radio play because it's A, not too popular, and B, because it's 11 minutes. But
I think I know the song. I would recognize the song.
yes, absolutely I love Elton John, and this absolutely blows every other song out of the water for me. Like there's this song, 50 Feet, like Billy Bean says Moneyball, then everything else.
I think I agree with you on this. I think I know what song it is, and I think I always liked it more
Yeah,
than any
just
other Elton John song you played. Yeah.
just incredible arrangement in this. And I think Elton John said before, he said he just sat down and started playing music that he would want to be played at his funeral. And that's how this song came to life. At least the instrumentation in the beginning, not so much the Love Lies Bleeding part of it. But either way, oh man, this song is just a tour de force of Elton John's. All of his capabilities are just thrown into 11 minutes, and nothing else is close, in my opinion.
Nice. Yeah, I'll what's it? Sorry, Elton. What song is it again? Say that in the chat.
Funeral for a Friend / Love Lies Bleeding is the opening track to Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Elton
Yeah,
John's best
I can
album.
confirm it's the song I'm
Disagree.
thinking of. Yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah, if you disagree with the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road being his best album, fuck on out of here. But
Yeah.
let's continue.
All right, so
I know what band this is, but I'm just curious what song.
yeah, I know. I was about to say. So it is the second track off of their.
Ooh, I know what it is.
Yeah,
This Dying Soul.
It's the second track off their dick slapping album, fucking Train of Thought. Just yeah. Jesus Christ. This Dying Soul. Again.
Not to spoil it. Sorry to spoil your little intro, but I just knew what song it was.
Oh, it's cool. Yeah, I don't care. This Dying Soul. It's obviously, like I said, like I just said Rosetta Stone is one of my favorite songs ever, and this is above that. So this song I love this song a lot. You know how you said everything about Home, you know, about the instrumentation, about how it's just like, oh my god, like how the fuck is this even possible?
Yep.
To me, this is that times two, basically. The everything in this song, like instrumentally speaking, on every minute of the song, is in some way or another just so kick-ass and so complicated yet fucking a pleasure to listen to. I mean, it's definitely one of their most heavy tracks ever, probably. It's very heavy track, at least, but it also has very melodic sections, especially the chorus and what kind of the intro transitions into this, like, you know, this soft melodic section. There's like this very groovy bridge section. I mean, it just has all the elements of Dream Theater showcases a lot of. Again, it's just them taking all their tools out of the tool shed and using them all in one song.
Yep.
And there's
Which
even
they do fucking frequently.
They do
From
that a
what I
lot.
had.
Yeah, it's definitely not even rare for them to do that. Like a lot of their songs, probably most of their songs, because that's kind of what they're doing. But this song, it's like even more so. It's like it's just times three. Like all these things, they in amplitude, in musicianship, in writing. I mean, it's just, to me at least. I mean, it's also, there's like the chorus is like E2, like it's real. It's not just like progressive, you know, slush, like that doesn't make sense. Like it, you can get into this song, like even I think on a mainstream level. Like I mean, it's just so yeah, I don't know. It's so melodic, and there's one other thing I was gonna say about it. Yeah, oh yeah, there is a like the chorus. For whatever reason, I hear like Egyptian influence. Like it feels like Middle Eastern
That's
almost. Like
funny because you could say that about Home as well.
yes, but Home is more overtly so. Like
Yeah.
definitely Home. This is a little more subtle. It's not even because Home actually uses like this like sitar type thing, and
Yep.
like instrumentally, it's actually like kind of Egyptian, and the percussion in that section is very like, you know, this isn't even that. It's like it's the melody literally sounds Egyptian. It's not even the instruments because it's still just heavy distortion and rhythm, and so it's not even like it's in a very different way than Home. Home is like actually basically like it's literally like sounds like Middle Eastern music, like or like Persian, like almost I almost think like Aladdin. It's sick. It's fucking sick, you know. But yeah, I get that sense in a different way in this song too, and there's also like element. There's like they really like thrash kind of at the end of this song, and it's like the speed at which they're able to play. Honestly, in certain sections, it's just so stupidly impressive. It's just crazy. It's crazy. This is yeah one of my favorite songs ever. One of probably I mean it's my favorite Dream Theater song. I think.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think that completes the top 10. I didn't think there was anything like too surprising. I don't think on like either of our lists.
No,
The only thing I would say kind of surprised me was the "Shine on You, Crazy Diamond" different song inclusion, but
yeah.
it wasn't like an egregious inclusion. It just surprised me because I feel like popular opinion probably is 1 through 5. I would say. Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just because it comes first in the album. Honestly, I think it gives it
yeah, that's a good point.
I think it gives it an unfair advantage in that way, subconscious bias. Like now, that being said, you know, that doesn't mean that everyone is, thinks it's the best because of that. Like
Yeah,
obviously,
that's
you
true.
can have other reasons, and you could just like it more too. It's not that it's not end all be all of things, but I do think it gets if it's like 60-40. Let's say it's like it's split like 60-40 among the
Yeah.
Pink Floyd fan base, or maybe 70-30. I think that 10 to 20% is just because of the album bump, the order it comes like in the album.
Yeah,
That's
highly
really fair to
highly
say.
recommend all of these songs. You just all these songs essentially like I feel like we said multiple times it's the band like bringing all of their influences and all of their talents to the table at once. So if you're
That's why I mean that's what a 10-minute song usually is. That's just how
yeah.
it works. It's like why
So
else write a 10-minute song if you're not going to put it all on the table?
yep. Yeah, obviously all these songs come highly recommended and definitely recommend you should check them out. The links will be below the video. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. That'd mean a whole lot. And if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes or something like that, just go ahead and follow us if you want to listen to more of our bullshit. Um, I think we will have a comedy movies episode coming up pretty soon because Nate and I got in a little
Yeah.
disagreement earlier about
I fully recognize though in that disagreement that I am just crazy. So it's all right.
yeah. So prepare to shit on Nate.
Yeah.
Um,
It's all right.
all right, we'll be back soon.